Glad to see you can make it. Glad to see you can make it, man. Glad to see you make it. He's going part-time? I'm ready to go. You were here last time. I haven't seen him. Today. Well, I'm glad you made it too, man. But, you know, he wasn't here. Glad you made it. He's very sick. Look, he's going to pull me over the table. That's Dr. Bob. I'm fixing your skirt. It looks bad on TV. You know, we don't want it on TV. You better not fix my skirt.
And good evening. It is the 33rd Annual Beach Ball Classic in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Day 2 of 5, and this will be the first broadcast game of the day featuring Father Henry Carr Crusaders out of Ontario, Canada, and the Moeller Crusaders out of, well, I didn't look to see that.
Cincinnati.
Right, where is it?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
My home state, matter of fact.
Tyler Watkins and Wally B for this broadcast, and as we prepare for today, Wally, there's already been a couple of games, but you know it's a frantic get everything together, get everything set, get all your notes together, and learn as much as you can about two teams that you've probably never seen before.
True, and then you've got to forget about those two teams and go to the next two teams.
That's exactly right.
And so forth.
Father Henry Carr comes in with a 21-2 record. The Moeller Crusaders is 5-0. Now that's a little different. Father Henry Carr, of course, out of Ontario, Canada. They start earlier. They've already been in a couple of tournaments and won a couple of championships, including the Early Bird Classic and the Mark Walton Invitational. So a couple of teams with some experience coming into this broadcast.
Yeah, and watching them warm up, it seemed to me that the players for Henry Carr seem a bit more subdued, more laid back. Moeller seems a lot more peppy in their step, maybe because Henry Carr's been playing for quite a while, and Moeller's still gearing their season up, getting ready for this game. I'm sure both are very excited. A battle of the Crusaders, if you will.
You picked that up earlier. You know, this is the first time for the Moeller Crusaders, but it's the fourth attempt for Father Henry Carr. And we'll have this broadcast as we're 3 minutes away from tip-off here. Your starting lineups tonight, of course, include the MVP of the Early Bird Classic for Father Henry Carr out of Ontario, Canada. That would be Brendan Chavanez. And Wally, as we look at these starting lineups and these players, I don't know if you've looked at your lineups, but some of these names are going to be difficult for us to call tonight, but that's basketball for you sometimes.
Call the number.
No, you can't call the number. No.
Not every time.
No. So the other starting lineups, of course, for Father Henry Carr include Ty Stewart Nelson, and on my list, Marcus Bonnick and Anthony McNish will be your starting lineups for Father Henry Carr tonight out of Canada. And again, this team will be looking for their first round win in 4 tournament tries. They were consolation champions against Pinewood Prep in 2006. And again, the Moeller Crusaders coming in 5-0, grades 9 through 12. And this team, Archbishop Moeller High School, started in 1958, so some storied programs here at the Beach Ball Classic in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. The 33rd annual, and Wally, what a great place to have it in Myrtle Beach. It's
hard to believe that this has come so far in the 30-some-odd years, from 4 teams to 6 teams, 8 teams to 16 teams, and I mean, representing the best high school basketball in the country every year. Got to give credit to the committee. They do a great job of researching the high schools, the programs, and finding out what teams should be here for the coming year, and every year they hit a home run.
A lot of these teams talk about the treatment that they receive at the Beach Ball Classic, you know, from being shuttled around to the hotels, to the hospitality, to the different events that they get to go to. You know, Ripley's Aquarium lets come in for free during the week, and they're just treated very, very well. As we get set up on the far side, Steve Walsh will be our PA announcer today for this game. The 33rd Annual Beach Ball Classic inside the J. Lambeau Schwartz Arena in the Myrtle Beach Convention Center. Tyler Watkins and Wally B with his broadcast.
Henry Carr is coming off their best season this last year. They had a record of 38-2, and they were runner-up in numerous tournaments last year.
And let's hand it over to Steve Walsh for tonight's starting lineups.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to Lambeau Schwartz Arena here at the Myrtle Beach Convention Center for the continuation of the 2013 33rd Annual Beach Ball Classic. Our next game features the visiting Crusaders of Father Henry Carr out of Toronto, Canada, and the home team Moeller Crusaders from Cincinnati, Ohio. So without further ado, let's meet the starters. First, for the visiting Crusaders under Coach Paul Melnick, they come into this afternoon's game with an overall record of 21 wins against 2 losses. At a guard position, a 6-foot senior wearing number 3, Brendan Chevenez. Also at guard, a 6'1 junior wearing number 5, Ty Stewart Nelson. Rounding out the backcourt, a 6'1 junior, number 35, Marcus Bonnick. At forward, a 6'5 freshman, number 32, Anthony McNish. And at forward, a 6'5 junior, number 34, Lamar Copeland. Coach Melnick is assisted by Travis Noel, Mark Poyser, and Robert Bonnick. And now for the home team Crusaders under head coach Carl Kramer. They come into this afternoon's game with an overall record of 5 wins against no losses. At guard, a 5'10 senior, number 11, Trey Hawkins. At guard, a 6'2 senior, number 15, Grant Benzinger. At small forward, a 6'6 senior, number 21, Adam Gigax. At power forward, a 6'8 senior, number 14, Jack Anton. And the big man in the middle, 6'9 sophomore, number 51, Nate Fowler. Coach Kramer is assisted by Mike Susley, Dan Jerkowitz, Fred Hesse, and Doug Horst. The officials for this afternoon's game: lead official, Mr. Brian Shealy. He's assisted by Jerry Laguerre and John Hagan.
And the Moeller Crusaders out of Cincinnati, Ohio versus the Father Henry Carr Crusaders out of Ontario, Canada. Two 16-minute halves here at the Beach Ball Classic. A little different for most of these teams as they're used to playing quarters, but as we said, Father Henry Carr already in 2 tournaments this season. Earlier today, Miller Grove defeated Spring Valley in the opener at noon. This is the losers bracket. At 1:45 today, Hoff defeated Myrtle Beach 55-39. Still to come, 3 other games after this one on the broadcast, including Providence versus Socastee at 5:15, Bishop Laughlin versus Norcross at 7 o'clock, and at 8:45, Franklin versus Mullins. For Father Henry Carr, Anthony McNish will be jumping up in the blue uniform against Nate Fowler. Name we'll call a lot today. for Moeller. Across the timeline, that's Trey Hawkins. Hawkins gets it to Grant Benzinger. Benzinger up off the glass, rebounded by Jack Anton. And first 2 points of the game for Moeller. Other way with it, Ty Stewart Nelson for Father Henry Carr. Dribble around the key. Back now. Three-pointer on the way for McNish. It's actually a two-pointer. Said his foot was on the line. And Henry Carr with the rebound. That's Bonick. Marcus Bonick inside. And a lot of passes for Father Henry Carr, but no point production so far. That one knocked out of bounds by Brendan Chavanis, the MVP of the Early Bird Classic, 6-foot senior. Moeller going to take it out of bounds under Father Henry Carr's basket, and on the run, Benzinger with the lead pass, puts up a layup, easy. 4 points now for Moeller. Henry Carr, Marcus Bonick thinks about it, dribbles inside, and does take the shot. Down with it is 6'9" Nate Fowler. Quickly ahead again to Benzinger. Nope, that's Jack Anton. To Trey Hawkins. Swinging over to Benzinger. Inside now for Anton. To Benzinger. Three-pointer on the way. Good for Grant Benzinger. While he may not know, but Benzinger's dad was a professional baseball player, played for the Reds, had the last out of the 1990 World Series.
I hope they won.
And a travel on the play. That'll give Moeller the ball back. Full court press now by Father Henry Carr. And they'll get it into Gigax. Benzinger across the timeline, guarded by Chavanis. You know, when I talked to the coach, Wally, they said on both sides, names like Chavanis, they said, well, you can say Chavanes or Chavanez or however you'd like. A little confusing for a play-by-play guy when you have multiple ways of saying it.
Best way is probably to ask the player, find out the way he wants it said that way.
Yeah, the coach wouldn't allow me to go speak to him while he was warming up, though. I did ask.
There you go. You covered your bases.
Father Henry Carr down with it. And moving left to right now to Stuart Nelson. And then long one on the way from Marcus Bonick. No good. Off the back of the iron into the hands of Adam Gigax. Quickly ahead, Trey Hawkins gets it underneath. And 2 points up off the glass by Jack Anton, the Elon signee. And Father Henry Carr is going to need a timeout.
You know, Tom, you mentioned Benzinger's father being a former pro baseball player. Other famous Moeller graduates, Ken Griffey Jr.
Indeed.
The politician John Boehner. Buddy Bell, a baseball player I grew up watching as a fan of the Cleveland Indians back in my day. And of course, Coach Jerry Faust.
Now here's a name that I instantly recognize because I know him and I like him. It's Paul Kills, the play-by-play announcer for Ohio State University football and basketball. Paul Kills has been doing it for many years, and a lot of play-by-play guys consider Paul Kills to be the very best play-by-play guy in America.
Really?
Really indeed. He has won the Ohio State Sportscaster of the Year numerous times. And that's how I know him as we attend the Sportscaster and Sportswriter of the Year awards banquet every year. Moeller with a 9-point lead to open this game. Day 2 of the Beach Ball Classic, 5 days total. This is the third game of the day, but the first that we have broadcast with 3 more to go. Moeller with the ball and the lead, and the three-point shot on the way. Doesn't fall, but rebounded quickly by Nate Fowler, and back up. The 6'9" junior is being looked at by Butler, Dayton, Miami, and West Virginia University. Number 51 on Moeller, if you're watching your screen. Father Henry Carr swinging it around. Lots of passes, less shots. And they're going to call a push-off foul on Brendan Chavanis. So Moeller will get the ball back. Wally, what do you see so far from these teams?
Well, I'm seeing Henry Carr, a lot more movement, trying to move the ball much quicker, maybe cause some confusion as Moeller tries to run their zone defense, where Moeller's doing more of a post, trying to set up and just get that quick shot.
Moeller seems to move quick as well, but they've got the height. Inside for Jack Anton. He'll put another one up. Gets his own rebound. Gets fouled as he puts it back up. No call, but down with it is Henry Carr. And Ty Stewart Nelson swinging around. And inside now for Chavanez. No good. And down with it is Anton. Quickly ahead to Ragland. That's Gus Ragland, the quarterback of the two-time state champion. That's 2 times in a row, last year and this year.
Got to give the fellows from Henry Carr credit here. They're doing a great job being so disadvantaged with the height here. And the boards doing a great job of boxing out and really hustling to fight for that paint with the guys who've got the height advantage over them.
And a timeout on the floor, a media timeout, so we'll take one as well. Back in a moment, Moeller leads Henry Carr 11-0. This is the Beach Ball Classic Network on HTC Sports.
Plans today to attend the Big South Basketball Championships. Go to visitmyrtlebeach.com/Big South.
My HTC digital cable service connects me to my favorite shows and new release movies with video on demand, so I can watch what I want, when I want. And I can choose from more than 200 channels, including digital cable sports. I'll never miss a play for my favorite team in any season. With HTC, it's a win-win, because HTC connects me with the things that mean the most.
Primetime on demand, including ABC, available free with any HTC set-top box. Call 369-8961.
HTC, this is life. Connect with it.
11-0, Moeller leads Henry Carr in first half action here of the Beach Ball Classic in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Tyler Watkins and Wally B. Wally, you have the stat sheet. What do you see so far that stands out?
Well, Henry Carr struggling. They're 0 for 5 from the field. Moeller shooting at 50%. They're 5 of 10. Leading scorer for Moeller right now is Grant Benzinger with a total of 5 points. Henry Carr's got to come out of this little run here and put some points on the board.
11:58 left in first half action, 2 16-minute halves, and at the line will be Nate Fowler. You know, a lot of people are talking about Luke Kennard at the Beach Ball Classic, but Nate Fowler's received a lot of attention as well, and they play on the same AAU basketball team. Being recruited by Butler, Dayton, Miami, WVU, and I'm sure the list goes on and on when you've got a list like that. 6'9", makes both of them 13-0 now. Henry Carr moving left to right. Brendan Chavanez, the MVP of the Early Bird Classic, and for Father Henry Carr, the MVP of this first half. Marcus Bonnick with a 3 on the way. That one is good. Over the head of Kevin Carley. Gus Ragland now. Gets it over to Curley. 5'11" junior. Swings left to Gus Ragland. Inside now for Fowler, and Fowler easy turnaround up off the glass, extends the lead now to 15-3.
Now you can tell Henry Carr is definitely struggling with the height advantage that Moeller's holding over right now.
Stewart Nelson walked with the ball, took a couple extra steps, and so Moeller will get the ball back. Moeller moving right to left. That's Trey Hawkins. Benzinger now gets it to Nate Fowler. Fowler to Trey Hawkins. Hawkins guarded by Anthony McNish. And they swing it over to Gigax. Back to Benzinger. Off the knees of Gigax, and Henry Carr with it the other way. Bonnick now to Kazumba. Kazumba missing. And Moeller now. Ragland, three-pointer on the way is no good. Down with it is Nate Fowler. Buck out off the glass. Make it 17-3 with 10 minutes left in the first. While we look at Moeller and all the history of this program and their accomplishments in sports, and boy, they've got a ton of them, don't they?
Well, they've been known for a long time for being a football powerhouse, but from the 90s forward, they've done quite a great job of bringing the basketball program to the forefront as well, and having quite a bit of success in their basketball program, especially in recent years. Football, they've won championships, high school championships in 75, 76, 77, 79, 80, 82, 85, 2012, 2013. Baseball, they took it in 72, 89, 93, 04, 09, 2012, and 2013. And as I said, basketball, their first championship took place in 99, followed up in 2003, and recently is 2007.
That's a lot of banners for one gym.
Sure is. It's a big school. I grew up going to a real small school, and back when I was in high school, we couldn't get into a league, and we had to play the big schools, and we used to get pounded by them. I'm talking 80-something nothing, Tyler.
Long three-pointer by Marcus Bonnick for Henry Carr. That was close to over and back. Trey Hawkins now slow things down, bring it across the timeline. Looking inside for Nate Fowler, overthrows it and trying to grab it is Hawkins, the 5'10" senior, but a turnover to Father Henry Carr. .9:05 left in the first half. 17-9. Moeller Crusaders, founded in 1959, 5-0 on the season, versus Father Henry Carr, 21-2 on the season. Henry Carr already won the Early Bird Classic Championship and the Mark Walton Invitational Championship. A long way away from getting started at the Beach Ball Classic Championship, as Anton misses the left-hander up off the glass. And Father Henry will get the ball back.
It's 3 team fouls on Henry Carr. Moeller yet to cause infraction.
Father Henry Carr has its own set of notable alumni, but of course most of them are hockey players. If you look for the basketball players, Sim Bular. There's an actor, Enrico Colantoni,
who's known for the productions Just Shoot Me and the movie Flashpoint.
Paul Cavallini, NHL player, and a list of NHL players. And Wally, I know nothing about hockey, so I don't know.
There was also the 2012 Olympic sprinter Tremaine Harris, who was in Canada.
8:35 left. Father Henry Carr across the timeline. Inside now for Tristan Thompson. Thompson brings it out to Grant O'Dew. O'Dew to Stuart Nelson. Taken away by Chris Bucher.
Looking over the array of champions over the years, Tyler, I'm seeing it's like New York is the state with the most champions overall, from what I'm seeing. Quite a few from Pennsylvania.
For the Beach Ball Classic?
Yeah, for Beach Ball Classic champions.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure Moeller would like to be only the second team to win from Ohio, as St. Edward did back in 2006.
Just inside the three-point line, and that one no good.
No team from outside the country, Canada, if you will, has won the tournament just yet, so that would be a first.
8:07 left in the first half, 2 16-minute halves, and Father Henry Carr with the ball. Inbounding it will be Joris Kazumba, originally from Nigeria. Gets it to Ty Stewart Nelson. And across the timeline is Kazumba. Inside now for Tristan Thompson. Thompson with the turnaround left-hander down into the hands of Nate Fowler, and quickly ahead Moeller with the ball. Turnaround, pop from the three-point line is Benzinger, no good. And Kazumba now from the right side. Little layup and brings them within 8.
Kazumba was determined when he first got the rebound. All the way he wanted that ball all the way to the hole.
Jack Anton. to Benzinger. Inside for Nate Fowler, up off the glass, 21-11 now. Henry Carr with a slow start, but they've come along in the last few minutes of this game, increased their energy level a bit. Switched in some players with surer hands. Marcus Bonnick to Stuart Nelson. Now to Kazumba. Kazumba fouled in the process. And it should be a timeout on the floor for the media. At the dead ball. And we'll take it. Back in a moment, Moeller leads 21-11. This is the Beach Ball Classic on HTC Sports.
Plans today to attend the Big South Basketball Championships. Go to visitmyrtlebeach.com/Big South.
Johnny Gardner Law.
I practice primarily family law. In family law, it's really important not only to understand the background and the law behind the case, but also to listen to your client and to understand their goals, their expectations, so you can work together to come to a really great resolution of the case.
Johnny Gardner Law, with offices in Myrtle Beach and Conway. Wherever life takes you, we'll be there.
Moeller leading Father Henry Carr 21-11 at the 33rd Annual Beach Ball Classic. Tyler Watkins and Wally B with this broadcast. And Wally, you have the stat sheet. What do you see?
Well, Henry Carr's improved their shooting. They're now at 36.4%, 4 of 11 from the field, three-pointers. They're 3 of 5, 0 at the foul line because Moeller has yet to commit a foul. And Moeller shooting at 44.4, 8 of 18 from the field, 1 of 4 from the three-point range, and they are 4 for 4 from the bonus line.
Earlier today, Miller Grove defeated Spring Valley in the opener at noon, and at 1:45, Huff defeated Myrtle Beach 55-39. Still 3 more games to go today after this one, and we'll have the broadcast of each one of those games on HTC Cable Channel 4 and online at beachballclassic.com. You know, Wally, there is a new feature to that Beach Ball Classic broadcast, and it's the social stream, which allows people to watch the game and also chat to the right of that.
Excellent.
Of course, we don't have access to that, so if they say anything bad about us, we just won't know.
And we won't be surprised.
But I can guarantee you what will happen. Someone will say, that's not how you say Ragland's last name, for example. It's how you say it like this, which we appreciate. We just can't see it. Hawkins, 5-second call, and Father Henry Carr will get the ball back, increasing their pressure with 6:33 left in the first half. 21-11. Father Henry Carr making their 4th appearance in the Beach Ball Classic. Moeller with their 1st appearance. Marcus Bonnick with the ball. Bonnick with 9 points now for Father Henry Carr, all from three-point land. Inside, little up and under for Grant O'Due, and I believe I just said heard the PA announcer say, "Not in this house." He did. He's smiling. Look at him. Kazumba floats it over to McNish, and McNish loses a handle on it. So Moeller will go the other way with it now. Trey Hawkins to the left corner for Noah Abel. Inside now for Nate Fowler. Up off the glass, textbook basketball. That's easy, and that's why they lead 23-11.
Yeah, Nate Fowler is a humble kind of player because I've seen him get the ball a couple of his plays where he's put the bucket in. He could have really come up, maybe slammed, shown some authority, but he's just setting it in there real nice and being laid back.
Well, we had a player yesterday that slammed the goal to our right. When he came down with it, he held on to the goal, and it ended up flipping the scoreboard backwards.
Ooh.
First time I'd ever seen that at the Beach Ball Classic. A couple extra steps on that play. They call him for walking, and Moeller will get the ball back.
Well, I'm sure that maintenance prefers that than shattering the backboard.
Which happened 2 or 3 years ago, yeah.
I remember that.
Were you here for that?
I was here for that, yes.
Were you doing the broadcast for that?
I believe I was with you, as a matter of fact.
That's a bad omen, Wally B.
Only if it happens this year.
Yep. Jack Anton misses the easy one inside, and Henry Carr with it the other way. That's Chavanez. Chavanez out of control, loses a handle on it, and Moeller will get the ball back. 5-0 on the season, the Moeller Crusaders versus the 21-2 Father Henry Carr Crusaders out of Ontario, Canada. Full court press now by Father Henry Carr, and they find Nate Fowler. Back to Trey Hawkins.
Yeah, after struggling a bit here in the opening of the game, Tyler, it seems that Father Henry Carr has put together a gel of players who seem to be come together a bit more and put more of a game together now. They're more competitive than they were in those first 8-9 minutes of the game.
Noah Abel and swinging around. Now shot on the way by Trey Hawkins off the back of the iron. And down with it is Noah Abel, the shortest man on the court. Over to Benzinger, who misses the three. And Nate Fowler, the biggest man on the court, takes a dive after it.
Big guy can hustle, too.
So Father Henry Carr will get the ball back, moving left to right in their blue uniforms with black numerals and white trim. Chavanez, 6-foot senior, across the timeline, guarded by Trey Hawkins. Chavanez swinging around to Bonnick, who's made 3, make it 4 of those now. And a timeout on the floor for Father Henry Carr with a 23-14 lead, 4:25 left in the second half.
Bonnick's being the go-to guy so far when they need some points. They're getting to a point where points are crucial. He's coming up with that big shot from outside the circle there, doing a great job so far.
Well, if you happen to find yourself at Moeller High School, well, let's take a timeout, and we'll come back in just a moment. Moeller leads 23-14. Back in a moment. This is the Beach Ball Classic on HTC Sports.
Team, you guys are doing a heck of a job. And don't forget, we got the Big South Championships coming up, and we're all going to head to Myrtle Beach. Road trip! Come on!
Rock the beat.
Don't miss Myrtle Beach Madness. Make your plans now to attend the Big South Basketball Championships March 4 through 9. Everything you need is at visitmyrtlebeach.com/Big South. See you at the beach.
(23-14) is the lead for Moeller Crusaders out of Cincinnati, Ohio, 5-0 on the season. Over the Father Henry Carr Crusaders out of Ontario, Canada, 21-2 on the season. Wally, I was going to tell you, if you find yourself at Moeller High School next week, on the 6th is when they'll go back to school from the winter break. You're going to want to make your way to the lunchroom because that day the Asian bar will be the specialty for Moeller on January 6th.
Ooh, that's my favorite food. Seafood, S-E-E.
Would you like to know the rest of the week?
Yes, yes. What else
boneless chicken on Tuesday, pasta bar on Wednesday, and then potato and chicken bowl on Thursday.
Huh. Very nice.
See, this is research.
See, it's a private school. That's why. If it was a public school, they'd be having grains and I've heard many parents go to public school complaining about the meal plan for our public schools.
Well, if you talk to kids locally at public schools, they don't complain about Thursdays because Thursday is chicken day.
Ah. I hope it's really chicken and not that pink slime.
I don't know. I just hear my kids say, it's chicken day.
Back in our day, I cared about pizza day.
Bailey, my daughter, likes pizza day as well. But it's the square, terrible pizza that you know. 3:47 left in the first half. Henry Carr with the ball back now. Near side, moving left to right. And coming into the game for Henry Carr will be Kyle Lefebvre, the 5'10" sophomore. Marcus Bonnick exiting with 4 3-pointers in the first half. Brendan Chavanez across the timeline, guarded by Trey Hawkins. They get it off to Lamar Copeland, to Chavanez. Chavanez, a mismatch over Nate Fowler, and he walked with it. And head coach Paul Melnick on the far side says, what did you stop for? Keep going. You're regarded by 6'9" Nate Fowler.
Chavanez being their leader, I think Coach Melnick wants to see him do that. Take more control, not be afraid to take the ball to the hole.
Tried to redeem himself by going after the steal, knocked it out of bounds, did Chavanez, but Moeller will get it back right in front of their own bench and in front of Coach Carl Kramer in his 23rd year. Henry Carr has stepped up the pressure, got it closer, within 7 now. Trey Hawkins, 5'10" senior, across the timeline. Looks inside for the bounce pass on the cut, and Grant Benzinger puts up 2, the Wright State signee.
You can tell that's a move they've practiced many times, that they've done many times. It was just so smooth, they both knew without even thinking, and bam. Great pass, great basket.
Grant Adu to Chavanez, 3-pointer on the way, no good. Off the back of the iron, but down with it is Adu. And he converts, nope, missed it.
Chavanez needs to follow that shot. If he would have followed the shot, he would have had the rebound and could have had another shot there. But shooting the ball and doing this sort of showboat thing, keeping the hand in the air like I know this one's going in, and when it doesn't, you don't follow the shot, you don't get the rebound.
Credit Jack Anton with the 2 points, the Elon signee, and Father Henry Carr with possession. Cross-court bounce pass is kicked out of bounds by Nate Fowler.
A lot of times players forget to follow the basic fundamentals, and it'll cost them a rebound, it'll cost a point, and they tend to forget those things. If you're a coach, Tyler, your player shoots the ball, do you want him to keep his hand in the air like I got this shot? Do you want him to follow your shot?
Let's just be clear. That'll never happen, because what you said there, if you were the coach, Tyler, because the only time I've ever coached, Wally,
I know this story.
I coached 10 to 12-year-old girls basketball one year. You know how it goes, and you take your daughter in to sign up, and they talk you into coaching, right? That happened to me one year. You know what my record was?
Oh, and what?
Oh, and whatever. Yeah, we didn't win a single game all year long.
Was there a mutiny during the season at some point?
No, there wasn't actually. No, the kids were great and very upbeat and positive and working on their fundamentals. And those kids actually have gone on, and a lot of them are now playing JV at North Myrtle Beach High School.
Well, see,
so
you gave them the basic fundamentals and it didn't harm them early in their career.
I just didn't, yeah.
Which goes to show, winning isn't always the important thing. They had the fundamentals, they had the basics, they had fun. That's the important thing, I think.
They did have fun. Anthony McNish at the free throw line and adds the 3rd point. 27-19 now, within 8.
And besides, Tyler, you know, there's more character made when you lose than win. So I'm sure they learned much more in their long season than they would if they would have been winning the entire time.
There's 12 girls with a lot of character right now.
There you go.
Henry Carr, Chavanez, and they fight for it to the ground. And a timeout called, a 30-second timeout called by Moeller. That'll give us a chance to tell you about the games coming up today. Providence versus Sac-A-Stee at 5:15. This is the game you want to watch. Most people will say that Providence is the favored to win this game. Bishop Laughlin at 7 o'clock versus Norcross. And then Franklin versus Mullins, the 8:45 nightcap. The winner of this game will go on to play 7 p.m. on Saturday. The loser of this game will play tomorrow at noon in the first game. Wally, stat-wise, what do you see? Anything stand out for you?
No, other than those 3-pointers that Bonnick has hit for Father Henry Carr there, 4 of 7 for them. Otherwise, we've got Moeller shooting 1 of 6 from the 3-point land. And they need to pick that up a bit. But, of course, free throw-wise, Only one visit for Henry Carr so far and 4 visits for Moeller, and neither team has missed a free throw. But 38.9%, 7 of 18 from the field for Father Henry Carr, and 11 of 25, 44% for Moeller right now.
Moeller inbounding and throws it right out of bounds. That is Jack Anton, who was looking for Trey Hawkins and just didn't find him. So Father Henry Carr with the ball under their own basket. Grant Odu, the older brother, plays at Siena. Into Chavanez. And a little floater pass. Goes out of bounds, and Moeller will get the ball back. What the turnover is here in this game, Wally. 11 turnovers for Father Henry Carr in the first half. Well, make that 12 now. And 7 for Moeller. Trey Hawkins. Guarded by Chavanez. They get it to Nate Fowler. Nate Fowler gets it to Benzinger, who loses his handle on it. Father Henry Carr the other way now. To Bonnick. Bonnick guarded by Hawkins. 53 seconds left in the first half. 2 16-minute halves. Here at the Beach Ball Classic. And up and under. Fouled in the process. Grant Odu goes to the line for 2. Odu with 2 points in the game. First time at the free throw line. Makes the first one. Coming into the game for Father Henry Carr is Tristan Thompson, and out goes Chavanez. Second round coming for Odu. 3 points now. And misfires. Down with it, Nate Fowler. Quickly ahead on the lead pass for Anton. And he loses a handle on it after the strip from Henry Carr. And Moeller will get the ball back. Right in front of the bench of Father Henry Carr, the Crusaders out of Ontario, Canada. (27-20). Biggest lead of the game. 14 for Moeller with 10:13 left. Father Henry Carr has yet to lead in this contest. Double team coming. And they break it, get it into Nate Fowler, and it looks like they're just going to try to run the clock out in the first half. Go into the locker room with a 7-point lead and be happy with that. Nate Fowler, your Butler, Dayton, Miami, WVU prospect. Trey Hawkins now. Benzinger. That's a good choice to take that last shot. Gets double teamed, pinned down, and it's the ball taken away. Last second floater coming from Tristan Thompson. And that went off the back of the glass. It's a 27-20 lead for Moeller at the half over Father Henry Carr. We'll take a timeout and come right back. This is the Beach Ball Classic on HTC Sports.
The fun in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina always begins at the beach. 60 miles of picture-perfect coastline provide the perfect opportunity to get outside and enjoy the area's #1 attraction absolutely free. Start here to begin your affordable vacation getaway. Earning several honors, including the world's best beach by Yahoo Travel and top family destination by Ask.com, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina is renowned for much more than its shoreline. World-class entertainment, endless shopping opportunities, award-winning dining, championship golf, spectacular spas, and family-friendly affordability are never far when visiting the Grand Strand. Spend the day checking out the brand new boardwalk, voted 3rd best boardwalk in the nation by National Geographic. And when the sun goes down, the lights come up in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Host to a vibrant social scene and entertainment options that just don't stop, you can begin a fun night out sampling cosmopolitan cuisine from one of the area's esteemed restaurants, or take your pick from a variety of live action-packed shows showing nightly. If you're longing for a little more peace and quiet where life moves a little slower, check out the distinctly southern moss-draped oak trees at Brook Green Gardens, a National Historic Landmark. Or savor locally caught seafood in Carolina Lowcountry cuisine along the Murrells Inlet Marsh Walk. Family-friendly events like the annual Sun Fun Festival, Beach Boogie and Barbecue Festival, a Memorial Day weekend celebration are always sure to impress, providing another free way to enjoy the South Carolina sunshine. And popular water parks, oceanfront amusement parks, and outdoor entertainment complexes keep families coming back year after year. No matter the tempo of your vacation, the Myrtle Beach area has something to offer everyone, combining rich Southern heritage with modern-day appeal to deliver memorable family moments sure to last a lifetime. Visit Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and experience so much more for so much less.
The 33rd Annual Beach Ball Classic in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, inside the J. Lambeau Schwartz Arena at the Myrtle Beach Convention Center. Moeller Crusaders out of Cincinnati, Ohio, leading Father Henry Carr at the half, 27-20. Tyler Watkins welcoming in our halftime guest for this broadcast. It's Phil Jackson.
How you doing, buddy?
You know, when I put your name down on the list, a lot of people said, you had Phil Jackson coming in? But Phil, we're bringing you in, and we want to talk about a foundation that you've started. And let's assume that I know nothing about it. Tell
Absolutely.
me the name of the foundation and your goal and what you're doing locally.
It's called Surf Dreams Foundation. Kind of my motto is think globally, act locally. There's a lot of kids in our area that don't know nothing about surfing. I'm very knowledgeable in surfing. I have a lot of resources. And we are helping kids get into surfing, providing surf gear for kids that don't have it. Providing lessons. Lessons is a big thing. We're working closely with Myrtle Beach Surf School to just provide some surf lessons, and when we get back into the season, you know, we'll be affecting a lot more children. We just hooked up 6 kids for Christmas. Surfboards, wetsuits, booties, gloves.
Wow.
The whole 9. Huge outreach from the community. Everybody's really stepping up and just digging deep in their closets and finding something for everybody. So.
Is that where you're finding a lot of your stuff? I know you said you've hooked up 6 kids with, is that 6 surfboards or is that 6 a variety of stuff?
We've given away 4 surfboards and then 6 total kids so far have gotten something they can use. Mostly wetsuits and surfboards. It is cold, and we don't want to keep any kids out of the water now.
Right.
Most of them are kids who have already been surfing. We did hook up one little boy. His name was Max. He's 9 years old. He took 1 surf lesson in the summer, and his dad could not keep him away from the water.
Right. Which happens.
Yeah, exactly. You know, once you do it once, you know, the love is there, and it's really sad that our area is so rich with surfing and surfing culture. Just not a lot of kids are exposed to it.
Well, let me ask you this. You said you've hooked up these 6 kids. Where are you getting your boards from? Where are you getting the wetsuits from? You know, how are you? And how old is this foundation?
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Less than 6 weeks.
So
yeah.
you just started this 6 weeks ago, and this was this a dream for you, or several people coming together, or how did it come about?
Well, I'm the co-director of the Atlantic Surfing Federation.
I see.
And we had a contest back in November, and a girl came up to get her jersey for her heat, and she didn't have a wetsuit on. So we figured, okay, she's going to put her wetsuit on. Came down to, you know, about time to go in for her heat, and she still didn't have a wetsuit on. I'm thinking, this girl does not care. The water temperature is 61 degrees, and she is going out there.
Yeah, right.
And she's going out there. She's not asking anybody for a wetsuit. And it just sparked something in me. I'm like, you know what? We all have stuff laying around.
We do. You're right.
That it's just, you know, sitting around. Maybe we're going to put it on Craigslist for $25. Is it worth it? You know? So we got her a wetsuit that day. She went surfing. Everything was great. So for her birthday, she had her birthday party. And I showed up unannounced at her birthday party and gave her a surfboard, wetsuit, booties, gloves, and a hood.
That's awesome.
And since then, I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. I don't have a lot of money, but I do have resources in the community, and that's where everything's coming from. You know, I started a Facebook page, Surf Dreams Foundation. You can find us on Facebook. GoFundMe.com. You can just search Surf Dreams. It'll come up. My goal is $5,000. That'll take care of all the legal fees to get my 501c3 nonprofit. Equipment, banners, tents, big wrap on the van. You know, we want to really push it, and we want to give these kids the opportunity to really make a push in surfing.
What have you found as the response from surfers? I know myself, I'll be honest with you, I went through my closet today looking for stuff I could donate as well, and that may be a process that happens for me, and I'm a longtime surfer. So I know that I have, at least 2 or 3 wetsuits in my closet that you're right, if I put them on eBay, $20 or whatever the case is. Yeah. But to know that they would go to the home of a kid that was then use them to surf is just, that's pretty incredible. Are you finding that that's what's happening with surfers?
That's the process. I literally started with one Facebook post, and it turned into probably 15 to 20 suits in a 4-day period. And now we have Village Surf Shop, Eternal Wave Surf Shop, T-Mobile operated by David Gooden. Those are all drop-off locations. And like I said, GoFundMe.com, if you don't have any wetsuits laying around, or you don't have board shorts or surfboards or anything laying around, you can donate cash. And there are some instances that there's kids that we don't have their size. So I'll go to the surf shop and I'll buy it. And I've already done that once. We were looking for a size 8 booties. Kid needed booties. We didn't have a size 8. I got enough donations, and I went to the surf shop and I bought him a size 8 and took care of him.
Well, as the co-director of the ASF, which is Atlantic Surfing Federation, which is a sort of a new organization, not an offshoot, but a break-off of the ESA, the old ESA. What's the surfing community like here in Myrtle Beach? Are there waves, and are there contests, and are there events and opportunities?
Well, that's one of the biggest misconceptions is, how do you surf here?
Right.
Everybody says, well, how do you surf here? Well, that's what makes the best surfers. Take Cam Richards. He's from Garden City. He's the NSSA national champion. He's #1 junior in the United States.
And he's from Garden City Beach.
He's from Garden City Beach.
Right.
The smaller waves, the better you get. We have a great competition scene here. Great. ESA, ASF. ASF is a little more progressive, but we encourage everybody to surf both. There's no competition between the two. We just want everybody to go out, put a jersey on, have a good time, compete, and have fun with the family. You got kids, grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, everybody's hanging out on the beach. And music's playing, everybody's surfing, and it's a good time. Just like a basketball game or a football game. And people have questions. Oh, Mary Lee's out there. It's the ocean. That's where sharks live. And it's just one thing that that we have to adapt to, and it's a lot less likely to be bit by a shark than to crash your car on the way to the beach.
As we wrap things up, it's the Surf Dreams Foundation.
Yes.
All right. Tell me quickly, how can we help in 30 seconds?
Facebook.com/Surf Dreams Foundation. Send us a message. If you have something, I'll come pick it up. I'll go to you. GoFundMe.com. You can just search Surf Dreams Foundation. Those are the 2 biggest ways that you can provide for these kids and help us out. Just simply drop something off at Village Surf Shop, Eternal Wave, or one of the T-Mobile offices if you got it laying around.
Thank you, Phil.
Yes, sir.
Good luck on your project, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We are about 30 seconds away from tip-off here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for the 33rd Annual Beach Ball Classic. Tyler Watkins and Wally B with the broadcast as Moeller leads Father Henry Carr 27-20. As Wally joins me, want to get his thoughts on the stats from the first half and anything stick out to you on the stat sheet.
Well, so far, Moeller doing a great job of not committing very many fouls. 3-point-wise, we've got Bonnick, just only person in threes for Father Henry Carr. They're 4 of 7. Team's got to kick in. Father Henry Carr is 7 of 18, shooting just under 40% from all over the field, while Moeller is 11 of 25 at 44% clip. They're 4 for 4 from the free throw line and 1 of 6 from three-point land. Moeller, though, doing a great job on the boards against Father Henry Carr. Of course, they have the serious height advantage. Turnover-wise, Father Henry Carr 12, Moeller 9. If you're Father Henry Carr, you got to be happy you came back and made it a game, because they were getting blown up there the first half of that first half, and now we'll see how they're going to unfold here in the second part.
Yeah, Moeller led by 14 at one point, so they've cut that in half, 27-20. To start the second half, 2 16-minute halves here at the Beach Ball Classic. This is the 3rd game of the day, the first broadcast for us, though, with 3 more to follow after this one. As Henry Carr, possession to open the second half, and Copeland in now, gets it around to Chavanez. Chavanez to McNish. And McNish to Chavanez. Chavanez with the dish to Stuart Nelson. Rattles around. Down with it and back up is Copeland, who has it taken away, but Bonnick able to grasp it underneath. Chavanez now, and on the cut, looking for Stuart Nelson. Not a clean pass, so they'll have to reset. And doing what they started the game out with, Wally, which was swinging the ball around, making a lot of passes.
Moeller doing a great job with that zone defense, again, making them have to do that so far. So credit to Moeller. Their zone defense is pretty solid right now, starting the second half strong.
G-Jacks with the rebound, the 6'6" senior. Up with it is Trey Hawkins, and back down. Moving the other way, quickly ahead to Lamar Copeland. But the pass from Chavanez is a little speedy and out of the hands of Copeland. Turnover back to Moeller.
I got the feeling Coach Melnick for Father Henry Carr had a little chat with Chavanez and told him, second half, I want you more active with that ball, make more things happen, because he seems so far that he's just doing that.
13 turnovers now in the game for Father Henry Carr, 9 for Moeller. 27-20. No score yet in second half action. Curley across the timeline. G-Jacks gets it back to Curley. Curley now to Bingsinger. Three-pointer on the way, and that one is easy for Adam G-Jacks, the 6'6" senior for Moeller Crusaders. Bonnick, not good on that three-point attempt. Quickly ahead to Benzinger, and Benzinger is going to be fouled in the process by Bonnick. He'll go to the line for two.
Now, if I'm these gentlemen at this point in time, I'm going to dunk that ball if I can hitch the rim. Many of them don't. I wonder why that is.
I don't know.
Coach says, don't dunk, you make it hurt.
Benzinger at the line, 4-2. Extends the lead back to 11 now. We talked about him earlier, the Wright State signee. His dad was Todd Benzinger, played for the Cincinnati Reds. And notable as the last out of the '90 World Series. I'm sure he did a lot of other important things. It's just what I was told.
And they won. I can't recall the Reds ever losing the World Series, have they? So I think they would have won. They won each time they've been in, I believe.
That would be an Alan Smothers question.
Where is the bad boy when you need him?
He is resting up for his broadcast at 8:45 tonight, the Franklin, Ohio versus Mullins, South Carolina game. Benzinger with the yellow shoes. I think every team I've done this Beach Ball Classic has had matching shoes. Yellow, blue, purple, and green so far. Benzinger, little left-handed floater down the lane. Knocked out by Anton into the hands of Father Henry Carr to Copeland quickly ahead, and the up and under. A blocking call called against Nate Fowler.
Bonnick shown he can do it all for Father Henry Carr. He came in early the game, hit those three-pointers, playing good defense, making things happen on the defensive end as well.
Well, he's got some talent, some skill, and genetics. His father, Robert, was an extremely good player. Bonnick, a three-point specialist. Of course, that's the notes I had before he started today, and already with, what, 4 three-pointers in this game?
Yeah, he's also known as an attacking defender on the dribble. And we know he's a great shooter. He's proven that with hitting those first 4 three-pointers.
Father Henry Carr adding 2, bringing them within 8. Benzinger swinging it for Hawkins. And looking back for Benzinger on the cut, and out of bounds for Father Henry Carr now. A little floater on the way by Father Henry Carr. Credit Stuart Nelson.
And Nelson really earned that one, I'll tell you. He really hustled and banged some bodies, get that shot off, and I'm actually surprised it went in. He deserved that bounce.
You know, as I did my research on the Moeller School out of Cincinnati, I found something that I haven't seen in all of the years of doing research on teams for the Beach Ball Classic, and that is the bowling team for Archbishop Moeller. They have a bowling team.
And let me guess, they've won the championship numerous times, like most other sporting programs at Moeller.
Well, the varsity bowling team got off to a great start, posting their high 2-game score for the year and coasted to a 2,581 to 2,393 victory over Deer Park. The next up, they travel to Louisville for the clash of the Louisville-Cincinnati teams.
Amazing what private schools and their budgets, what they can do.
32-26, 12-16 second half action here at the 33rd Annual Beach Ball Classic in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Moeller with the lead and the ball. Trey Hawkins looks near side for Chris Bucher. Bucher finds Nate Fowler. Cross-court pass for Benzinger. Dribble drive baseline. Left-handed shot up off the glass. Falls incomplete, and on the box out by Anton. The ball was picked up by Father Henry Carr, stripped by Hawkins on the flip side. And this is a media timeout. Should be anyway. First dead ball under 12, and we'll take it. Back in a moment on the Beach Ball Classic with HTC Sports.
My LTE smartphone from HTC Wireless connects me to friends and family faster than ever with 4G connection speed. And that means faster shopping, sharing on Facebook, uploading photos and videos wherever, whenever. And when my family needs more data on all of our phones and tablets, HTC has a plan for that, connecting me with the things that mean the most.
Switch to HTC Member Connections and save up to $1,000 over 2 years. Call 369-8968.
HTC. This is life. Connect with it.
Your trees are beautiful, but you're going to have a problem when all those pretty leaves fall. But you could call the man. 845-2760 is the number, so give him a call.
And I'll take care of you.
Be a part of Myrtle Beach Madness. Visit myrtlebeach.com/Big South.
Moeller with a healthy lead over Father Henry Carr, 32-26 in second half action at the 33rd Annual Beach Ball Classic. Tyler Watkins and Wally B. What do you see on the stat sheet, Wally?
Well, right now on the boards, Father Henry Carr doing a great job. They're at a serious height disadvantage, should say, but they're doing a great job boxing out right now. Rebound-wise, you've got 15 total rebounds, 4 offensive, 11 defensive for Father Henry Carr, while Moeller is at 18 total, 7 offensive and 11 defensive caroms.
Leading scorers in the game, Nate Fowler from Moeller with 12, and that ties Marcus Bonnick for Father Henry Carr with 12. Nobody else of note besides Moeller's Grant Benzinger with 9. Father Henry Carr struggling to get the ball in. Moeller picks it up and goes the other way with it, and that's Grant Benzinger getting fouled. He'll go to the line for 2. Moeller got here by winning 5 straight. They're 5-0 on the season. They defeated Chamonix Julian, Taft, Northridge, Western Hills, and Mount Healthy. Defeated Mount Healthy 66-36. Boy, Northridge, they had their way with 78-37 in that win, and here leading 34-26 now.
You got to wonder if maybe some fatigue may be the factor for Father Henry Carr. They started slow, 11-0 to start the game. Moeller pulled out ahead, but Father Henry Carr's done a great job to come back and make it somewhat of a game so far.
Both teams have long benches, taking up nearly every seat on the far sideline. Missed shot by Father Henry Carr. Puts the ball in the hands of Moeller's Jack Anton, and the 3 is good. If you're looking at the floor here at the Beach Ball Classic, there's 2 lines. You've got a red line and a white line. The white line is the college three-point line, and they play a lot of college games here. The red line is for high school basketball. Most of the players at the Beach Ball Classic end up shooting from behind that white line, as it's the one that sticks out the most. As Chavanez is fouled, putting the shot up, he'll go to the line for 2 now. Down by 11.
Now, if we had the NBA's three-point line, Tyler, how far back from the white line would it appear?
I don't know, maybe the logo? Thought he was fouled and going to the line, but that's inaccurate. Coming into the game for Father Henry Carr is Kazumba and Grant Adu. Across the timeline is Hawkins to Jack Anton, the Elon signee, and the Elon coach is here. Sitting beside the Clemson head basketball coach to our right. Brad Brownell sitting about 4 seats over from you, Wally. Bet you didn't notice, did you?
No, I didn't. But you're right. I think he wants your autograph.
I'm always right. Let's get that straight.
No, you're not always right, but I heard you're never wrong.
Granadu swings it around to Stuart Nelson, guarded by the 6'9" Nate Fowler, and now they switch off for Chris Bucher. Long three-pointer on the way, no good by Stuart Nelson. Back up with it after the rebound for Father Henry Carr. I'm delaying because I can't see his number yet. Anthony McNish, the 6'5" freshman. Jack Anton called with the foul. That'll be his first in the game. And McNish will go to the line for 2.
McNish showing some serious vertical leaping ability there in that last play there. I mean, he's at a disadvantage about 4 or 5 inches height-wise, but he left and was way above the board compared to the player from Moeller there.
6 points in the game for McNish so far. Make it 6. Nate Fowler down with the rebound, and quickly ahead, Trey Hawkins. Hawkins to Bucher. Inside now for Anton. And there you go, Noah Abel. Nope, that is Nate Fowler.
With the soft lay, I want to see him slam that ball one time. Show us you got some authority.
Moeller, all the way from Cincinnati, Ohio, brought nearly the entire community, including the cheerleaders, and we don't see that often at the Beach Ball Classic.
They came to their feet, and he laid it in. They wanted a dunk. You knew they thought something big was coming.
Benzinger, three-pointer on the way, no good. Down with it is Henry Carr, quickly ahead for Bonnick. Bonnick thinks about that three. Pops, a little pick, spin. Will he take it? No. Bonnick gets it to Kazumba, and they swing it around. Back to Kazumba now, inside for Adu. Adu, spin, jump from the free throw line, and down with it is Nate Fowler. Nate Fowler to Hawkins. Three-pointer on the way is Benzinger. And Nate Fowler easily clean up, and a right-hander up off the glass.
Moeller starting to pull away now due to the dominance on the boards.
Is that a 16-point lead? That would be the biggest in the game for Moeller. Previous was 14 at 10:50 mark, 10:13 mark of the first half. Cross-court pass for Stuart Nelson. Three-pointer on the way is good for Ty Stuart Nelson for Father Henry Carr. To Trey Hawkins now. Over to Benzinger. Benzinger looking inside on the cutter for Bucher. Side's better of it. Way outside for the tallest man on the court, and they swing it back around to Hawkins. Cross-court pass, three-pointer, thought about it, but he shuffled that foot before he got going. John Hagan, the official, calls him for walking, and a timeout on the court. 43-30, the lead for Moeller over Henry Carr at the Beach Ball Classic on HTC Sports.
Plans today to attend the Big South Basketball Championships. Go to visitmyrtlebeach.com/Big South.
My HTC digital cable service connects me to my favorite shows and new release movies with video on demand, so I can watch what I want, when I want. And I can choose from more than 200 channels, including digital cable sports. I'll never miss a play for my favorite team in any season. With HTC, it's a win-win, because HTC connects me with the things that mean the most.
Primetime on demand, including ABC, available free with any HTC set-top box. Call 369-8961.
HTC, this is life. Connect with it.
With a 13-point lead, Moeller over Henry Carr in the first game of this broadcast, day 2 of the Beach Ball Classic, 33rd annual in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We'll go through New Year's Eve and then have the big New Year's Eve bash. Tyler Watkins and Wally B. Wally, you've got a stat that's jumping out for you.
Yeah, Moeller, as I said, have pulled away on the boards. They're now with an advantage of 24 rebounds to 18, pulling in the last 6 or 7 over Father Henry Carr, who seemed to become a bit discombobulated. They were gelling there for a while. It seems they've lost it, trying to get it back together, though, but Moeller is pulling away. If they don't pull it back together in the next 3 minutes or so, it's going to be over. Moeller's going to finish it off.
Moeller with shooting 43% from the field. Father Henry Carr 36% from the field. Moeller with 26 points in the paint. Father Henry Carr with just 8. In fact, Moeller leads in just about every category across the board on this stat sheet. 43-30. Stuart Nelson gets it inside to McNish now, and they swing it around for Kazumba. Kazumba with the roll around, and a lackadaisical pass puts the ball and the players into statistician Wayne White directly to our left.
Who is now Wayne Red, because he looks very embarrassed.
Bringing it inbounds, Benzinger right to our left. They get it to Trey Hawkins. Guarded by Kazumba. To Anton. .647 left, second half action. The Beach Ball Classic in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. 3 games to go today. Jack Anton, Elon Saini to Hawkins. Nice try, Wally. Gigax. And loses a handle on it, does Anton for Moeller. And looks like it was kicked by Father Henry Carr.
You are doing a stand-up job on these hard-to-pronounce names, by the way. I want to give you credit.
You know, actually, I just say whatever comes out, and if it's right, it's right. And if it's not, there's nothing I can do about that.
I noticed the PA guy's afraid to say the names. He's not saying many of them.
It is difficult sometimes. Yeah. You know, what's lucky, though, is, Wally, when I went over to do the prep work with the coach, especially from Moeller before the game started, it wasn't even on my mind to check pronunciations. I was going over to get scores and, records
more
and
team
just
stuff,
information, right, team stuff. And he said, do you want to go over the names with me real quick before you go back? And I went, yeah, that sounds good. And then I looked down at the players and went, oh, my. Thank you, Coach, for saving me. Nate Fowler at the line for a couple of them. 6'9", junior. Second one bounces out, but he gets his own rebound after the tip. Swinging over to Gigax. Gigax gets it to Benzinger. The pick coming from Fowler, but Gigax goes the other way. Swinging it left now to Morrow. That's Austin Morrow to Jack Anton. To Gigax. To Fowler. They're going to play keep away, aren't they? Gigax to Benzinger. And Benzinger commits a foul. No, they call it on Anton. Jack Anton pushing off with the elbow. And Father Henry Carr will get the ball back, down by 14, 5:51 left. Across the timeline, that's Ty Stewart Nelson. And they swing it over to Bonnick, Mr. Three-point specialist and really Mr. Everything for Father Henry Carr today. Between the legs dribble, a little shuffle, and he gets it off to Kazumba. That's Joris Kazumba. Going to be a foul on the play, and it's going to go against Jack Anton. That'll be his third. Quickly
Moeller
picks up a couple of them.
Doing a great job with that zone defense again, giving Father Henry Carr a tizzy the entire game. That zone is very solid. Good way, they shift very well, follow the ball very well, stay between the player and the basket. Moeller can play some zone defense.
Wally, I love you, but I don't think anybody's ever described basketball as a tizzy. It's pretty good, though.
Thank you very much.
That's why you're innovative and creative and original.
And that's where it ends. And it's all downhill from there.
Jack Anton gets it to Curley. Curley having a tizzy himself, getting it across the timeline and gets it into the hands of Father Henry Carr. Three-pointer on the way from Bonnick. No good. Down with it is Nate Fowler, and they get it back to Benzinger. Benzinger says, let me take it this time. To the foul line. Thinks better about it. And now Moeller will just waste time. Battling inside is Nate Fowler. Fowler dribble, turn, back outside. Run clock up by 13. Benzinger. Cross-court pass to Curley. Out by the Logos, back to Benzinger. And they call a foul on Nate Fowler inside, who was battling with the defender. That's his fourth foul. While you lose Nate Fowler, and this game could quickly turn just down by 13.
It sure would. He's definitely the leader on the boards.
Nate Fowler, the 6'9" junior. One of the better players in the Beach Ball Classic tournament. Father Henry Carr with a shot, and Fowler come down with a rebound. You mentioned it. He produced. Trey Hawkins, 5'10" senior. Double teamed, pinned. They get a hand on it, and they're going to call the foul against Hawkins. And as Kazumba comes in, Hawkins takes offense to the entire situation and has a nasty look for the defender.
Got to give Kazumba credit. He just laughed it off like, come on, it's just a game. And usually it's the losing team that's more mad, not the winning team. So.
Right, yeah. I think he was mad because he was harassed, and they called the foul on him. Kazumba now gets the ball taken away. Nice out-of-bounds recovery, and another one made by Benzinger, but into the hands of Father Henry Carr. Now a 5-on-4 situation, and another softball pass down the court for Benzinger. Got fouled from behind, no call. The ball is just flying every which way now.
It sure is.
Hawkins, they get it to Abel. Noah Abel gets fouled in the left corner by Kazumba, and the crowd appreciates the call of a foul. Under 4-minute mark, media timeout on the court. Let's take it. This is the Beach Ball Classic on HTC Sports.
Plans today to attend the Big South Basketball Championships. Go to visitmyrtlebeach.com/Big South.
Johnny Gardner Law.
I like working with people, and so one of the things I find most satisfying in real estate is being able to facilitate either the purchase for a new home buyer or the sale of a home for someone who's looking to transition and possibly move on. It gives me great satisfaction.
Johnny Gardner Law, with offices in Myrtle Beach and Conway. Wherever life takes you, we'll be there.
44-31 is the lead from Moeller over Henry Carr with 3:38 left in this contest. Still to go today. 3 more games. Providence versus Sacastee is the 5:15 contest. And people should start filling into the gym as soon as 5 o'clock hits. Get off work and come right on over. Providence, one of the teams expected to do well in this tournament. Bishop Laughlin will follow up with a contest against Norcross at 7 o'clock. And then 8:45, Franklin out of Ohio versus Mullins at 8:45. tomorrow will begin the day at 3:30 p.m. again. Actually, tomorrow and then Monday and Tuesday will start at 1:45. A lot of broadcasts here at the Beach Ball Classic. 5 days spread out over 6 days as we started on the day after Christmas and finish up New Year's Eve.
All great quality basketball. Looking for a show. This is it. Every game is a lot of fun.
And the put up by Nate Fowler extends the lead now to 15 for Moeller over Father Henry Carr. Henry Carr has been in this tournament 4 times now and yet to win a first-round matchup, but they did win the consolation championship back in 2006. They were here 2004, 2006, 2010, and now 2013, making that trip down from Ontario, Canada.
Fowler showing he's got some ball handling skills for a big guy, too, there on the last run.
He does indeed. Just a junior, being looked at by Butler, Dayton, Miami, and West Virginia University. This is a guy that you're going to see playing college ball on Saturday. And as we've seen in the Beach Ball Classic, a lot of these guys go on to play in the NBA. The list is long.
My first year of seeing the beach ball when I got into town was '95, Tyler. And I saw Kobe Bryant and Mike Bibby play that year.
Mike Bibby was so fast. Three-pointer good by Marcus Bonnick. I'll tell you, you talk about Mike Bibby came in, and Baron Davis was another player that was so fast on this floor, but it seems like year after year the Beach Ball Classic just produces players that go on to be in the Beach Ball Classic Hall of Fame. That list includes Grant Hill, Kenny Anderson, Felipe Lopez, Vince Carter. Have you heard of any of these guys?
Oh, barely.
Yeah. Jeff Lebo, Joe Forte, Jimmy Jackson, B.J. Mackey, Raymond Felton played here at the Beach Ball Classic. Jason Kidd, Rasheed Wallace played when it was still over at Socastee High School before they moved it to the Myrtle Beach Convention Center. He played in 90, 91, and 92. Danny Ferry played here, as did Ramon Sessions. Ramon Sessions played for Myrtle Beach High School, and he now plays for the Bobcats, I believe.
Who would be the most recent Beach Ball Classic player who's in the NBA?
Man, I don't know.
Danny Green?
He probably wouldn't be the most recent player, but Danny Green did play here at the Beach Ball Classic, and I remember Roy Williams sitting along the sidelines. He had come to watch Danny Green. Danny had signed with North Carolina, and it was the semifinal game. Came down to the last second. Danny Green had the ball, went to the hoop, got fouled in the process, went to the line to win the game with 2 shots. As I went over to Coach Williams and I said, well, you're about to find out what you have. Danny Green made both of those shots. They won the game and went on to win the championship, and he was the MVP of the tournament. We had him on the Beach Ball Classic broadcast with Lucky Dog Television Productions right immediately following the championship game. Brought him right over. As we'll do the winning head coach after this game, Caroline Springs will head over and grab the coach, and she'll have a quick interview with, in this case, Carl Kramer. Inside pass for Moeller's Adam Gigax. And Gigax adds 2 more. Make it 48-34 now. Moeller led from the start and has led the entire game, as much as 16 at one point in this contest, with 2:14 left. Leading scorers, Nate Fowler up to 17 now with Jack Anton at 13, Grant Bingsinger at 11. On the flip side for Father Henry Carr, Marcus Bonnick has 12, Anthony McNish with 7, and Ty Stewart Nelson with 5. Turnovers, it's about even now. Father Henry Carr with 17, Moeller with 16. Would you quit? Trey Hawkins.
I got to promote the tournament on Facebook.
My broadcast partner has taken to his cell phone to snap pictures. Snap action pictures.
It's a runaway game. There's nothing else to be said except that Moeller's going to win this game. They're going to stall until Henry Carr keeps fouling.
Right, and this is going to get ugly quick.
Uh-oh.
As Trey Hawkins and Chavanez get tied up and nobody gives. Moeller will move to 6-0 on the season. Father Henry Carr Crusaders 21-3 on the season. 21-3.
You've got to think that having played that many games at this point in a tournament like this with the high quality of basketball that needs to be played, there's got to be a fatigue factor compared to their opponents played in their 6th game today.
You know, I would think that they would be in better shape on the flip side of that because they've had more opportunities and more tournaments to play in. So maybe with the travel schedule coming from Canada, it's probably a little bit more difficult. But, you know, this is a team that's experienced, smart, plays well. They've just fallen against a Crusaders team that's very good and has a lot of height. And Nate Fowler, 6'9", and you look at Jack Anton, 6'8". You just can't compare. 50-34 now is the lead for Moeller over Henry Carr. 2 16-minute halves, and this second one's about to wrap up at the 33rd Annual Beach Ball Classic in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. 1:16 left. Foul coming on off the ball, and it's go against Father Henry Carr's.
Marcus Bonnet calls for his 3rd. Teammate back to the line for 1 plus.
Marcus Bonnet gets called for the foul. That'll be his 3rd. Trey Hawkins. Free throw on the way is good. Hawkins with his first point of the game. And make it 2. The point guard has controlled the ball most of the game, but has dished and allowed others to score. Gets a little glamour himself now. Stuart Nelson is fouled by Nate Fowler, and that'll be 5 against Fowler. He'll have to sit down with 1 minute and 4 seconds left. Nate Fowler comes out, and the large fan base that has traveled with the Moeller Crusaders will give him a nice ovation. To the line is Ty Stewart Nelson for 2.
As you mentioned earlier, Tyler, if Fowler could have been out of the game earlier, Father Henry Carr may have had a better chance here to close the gap.
Gus Ragland will come in, the quarterback of the football team that just won the state championship for the 2nd year in a row for the Moeller Crusaders out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Coach Carl Kramer in his 23rd year. Quickly with a rebound, Ty Stewart Nelson, and up off the glass, adds 2 more. With 1:01 left in this game, Moeller leading Henry Carr 52-37. Earlier today, if you missed us when we talked about the scores, the first game, the noon game, Spring Valley lost to Miller Grove. 68-63 was the final there, and Huff defeated Myrtle Beach 55-39. Moeller will go on to play at 7 p.m. tomorrow night, and Father Henry Carr will play tomorrow at noon versus the loser of the next game, which features Providence and Socastee. And then Bishop Laughlin and Norcross out of Georgia will play at 7 o'clock, 8:45. It's Franklin versus Mullins. Hey, if you've got a minute and you're watching this online, pull up another tab and pull up visitmyrtlebeach.com. Check out all the offerings of their wonderful area, 60-mile long Grand Strand area. Wally, you've been here for many years from Ohio yourself. What's your favorite part about the Grand Strand and Myrtle Beach area?
The weather. The weather here is nice 85% of the time. Weatherman is wrong 70% of the time.
Well, let me ask you this question. You know, they say if you live at the beach, you never see the beach. If you don't live at the beach, you just think people that live at the beach go every day. So when was the last time you went to the beach? See?
You got me. But just knowing it's there makes all the difference.
When was the last time? Let's nail it down, Wally. When was the last time you actually went to the beach?
For
Here?
For my own leisure.
Or just put your feet on the sand.
Let's see. It would have been back in August.
Okay.
But that was working.
You know when the last time I went to the beach was, don't you?
When?
Well, today, of course. I'm a surfer. We go to the beach every day.
Oh, okay. Did you surf this morning?
I did not surf this morning, no. When you do these broadcasts, a lot of it, these guys, the broadcast crew, it's a nonstop working environment. So, we leave out of here at midnight, 12:30, and we're back here early the next day to set up and get the equipment ready. And Lucky Dog Television Productions really produces a tremendous broadcast and puts in a lot of effort, but it requires these guys to put in a lot of hours during this particular week, which I know every single one of them loves it because they've all been together for 20 years doing these games. Three-pointer on the way from Bonnick is no good. And Father Henry Carr takes another shot at it. That's Stuart Nelson. Down with it is Chavanez, and Chavanez swings it back out to Stuart Nelson. And if you can't do it the first time, try the second time. That one doesn't work, but Jack Anton, the Elon Sani, says, well, let me get a hand on the ball, and I'll go to the free throw line on the other side with 21 seconds left and a substantial lead, 53-37. Moeller leading Father Henry Carr. Moeller in the double bonus. They'll shoot two.
On that last play, Chavanez was all over him, but you got to like the fact that even though the game's over, he's still hustling, giving all he's got.
First one is good by Anton. And Anton in the game with 14 points. Substitutions now for Moeller. Wholesale substitutions, letting some guys get their names in the Beach Ball Classic record books. And let's get some announcements. That's Logan Malone coming in. Grant Pittman coming in. Austin Morrow getting some time. Trey Stacy and Curtis Hoffman for Moeller. Father Henry Carr will keep fighting. Underneath, a push-off that was not called. Ty Stewart Nelson puts it in the basket, and then Logan Malone bounces it off the backboard. But that'll finalize the game here. 55-39 is the score. Moeller beats Henry Carr. We're going to come back in just a moment and speak to the head coach of the Moeller Crusaders. That's Carl Kramer. A timeout and right back here. This is the Beach Ball Classic on HTC Sports.
Team, you guys are doing a heck of a job. And don't forget, we got the Big South Championships coming up, and we're all going to head to Myrtle Beach. Road trip! Come on!
Rock the beat.
Don't miss Myrtle Beach Madness. Make your plans now to attend the Big South Basketball Championships March 4 through 9. Everything you need is at visitmyrtlebeach.com/Big South. See you at the beach.
.55-39 is the final here on the 33rd Annual Beach Ball Classic. Game number 3, broadcast game number 1 as the Moeller Crusaders beat Father Henry Carr. Caroline Springs is with head coach Carl Kramer now.
It really was a tough game. We got the quick lead and kind of couldn't get a rhythm, and I give them credit. They're really quick, and they kind of get you out of what you're doing. So we just sort of hung in there and got an ugly victory. We'll take it.
Hey, a win's a win. What players are you looking at to lead your team throughout this tournament?
You know, really, we have to be a great team. I mean, there's no one guy. Certainly Nate Fowler and Jack Anton, Grant Benzinger, all of our guys have to deliver. They're all good players, but it's got to be a team effort for us.
Okay, great. And like I said, you certainly have a lot of fans that followed you down. We're glad you could be here from Ohio. How does that make you feel as coach?
Pretty neat, Caroline. Our school has a lot of tradition in all sports. Families that really care about their kids. So when we do stuff, wherever we go, we have the biggest fan turnout, and that's neat. It's fun for us. The kids want to play hard for all of them. We just had a 1970 Moeller grad stop me and say he came to the game. He lives in the area. So it's a school with a lot of tradition, and we're fortunate.
Well, that's great, Coach. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Yep, back to you guys.
Caroline Springs with head coach of the Moeller Crusaders. That's Carl Kramer, Tyler Watkins, and Wally B. Wally, you just got a quick stat list. Just a couple of things that stick out for you, and then we'll talk about the games coming up today.
Again, the game decided on the boards. Moeller with the height advantage took the game board-wise with 32 boards to 23 for Father Henry Carr. High scorers for Father Henry Carr, you had Marcus Bonnick with 15 points, Stuart Nelson with 10 points, and then for Moeller, the winning team, you had the premier player Nate Fowler with 19 points and Jack Anthony following at 15 points.
Thank you for joining us on this broadcast. Coming up, we have 3 more games today, including Providence out of Florida versus Socastee. That is next. Providence, one of the favorite teams in this tournament. Bishop Laughlin versus Norcross at 7 o'clock, and then 8:45, Franklin versus Mullins, South Carolina. Thanks for joining us on the Beach Ball Classic. This is HTC Sports.